Caribou Weather Dude YouTube. Joey Olin here. Welcome to the show this morning. Bad news show. Yes, it's Wednesday, the 13th of November, I think. And it's about 9:30 in the morning when I started recording this. My kids are home. They're doing their schoolwork upstairs. So that's a nice, happy time here in the household. And I'm actually in Facebook jail for a couple days because of something I may have said. I'll tell you about it at the end of the episode. How's that for you? This is the Bad News Show. Potent systems hitting into BC today. And then we got another round this weekend. And then we got some dropping temperatures. More and more of the models are starting to come in on this. I think we're going to see some pretty cold weather in some parts of BC next week. Oh, it's going to be just miserable. Let's go. There it is. This is bad news. My God.
Falling out right now.
Anything could happen. Get on. Wow.
I'll watch the video later.
Feel the heat. Keep on going to the water.
They try mopping this.
Here's the bottom of the jet stream here. I got this big troughing going on right here into the United States right there. So you can tell that's going to be a setup for some anger and violence. Of course, you got that nice Gulf flow coming up, reaching up to Ontario now today. A little bit of warmth down there. I was watching this great thing. Okay, one of the channels I like to watch a lot is The History Guy. He was talking about 1911, November 11th, 1911. Great episode. Come find it on YouTube and check it out. And talking about the crazy frontal system that came through, a mid-latitude cyclone came through, and temperatures just went from like record 80 degrees. It was like 75, 80 degrees in Chicago. A guy died of heat stroke, and the next day 2 people died of hypothermia because the frontal system passed through and came through with a vengeance. This kind of looks like this. I mean, their map would have been different at the time, but here you have there's a nice warm parcel going all the way up to Ontario, like the record heat of November 1911 had, right? And that's why sometimes I say, that's why a week or two ago, I was saying just because there's record heat in there in Ontario doesn't necessarily mean it's climate change. We get this nice Gulf flow sometimes. It's really powerful. And that's what was going on in 1911. And then you had this frontal cyclone come in behind that just caused devastation, huge tornado outbreak, and was they called it cyclones back then. But anyways, so we'll play through the animation just a little bit here. So we'll hit play here, watch that pass through towards the east. Quite the storm system right there off the coast. We got this new hurricane that's probably going to form down here maybe this weekend. People are talking about. I still haven't got the name of it yet. It's a tropical depression S. It'll be named after Steve. So there's after we just had a bunch of stuff hitting BC. You know, here's our storm that came through BC, and we got this other one here. But in between, we got this sort of drop in the jet stream before poof, it comes back up. So a cool down, and then, of course, that cool down will bounce back up from it eventually. Downtown Canada today, yeah, it may have been something to do with saying that those people who are promoting MAGA in downtown Canada there on the street corner of Fraser Valley saying, "Make America Great Again." I said, well, you got to hang those guys for treason or sedition. And apparently Facebook considers that violent language. And, hey, I'll admit, I shouldn't be saying things like that on Facebook. Not because it's not true. It's absolutely 100% true what I said. Yes, but I run this weather group with 39,000 people on it, and people rely on me. And I really need to not take petty partisan shots that may disrupt my forecasting ability for the people of British Columbia. Apologies to everybody. So meteorologist Mark Engels and Jamie and Bob Holowenko and Angelique and everybody from the moderator crew and Ontario Weather and Wilderness Watchers will be doing the moderating without me. In the meantime, we got so many thunderstorm icons today. Rainfall warning going on in Haida with 40-60 millimeters. That is going on today. A low pressure system located southwest of Haida last night has produced heavy rainfall over the island. The low will track eastward just south of Haida today and will continue to spread rain over the island. Areas near Sandspit will receive total amounts ranging from 40 to 60 millimeters by this afternoon. Excellent. What's this one say up here? It says, Mike Tyson will beat the hell out of Jake. No, it doesn't. It says 10 to 15 centimeters expected for North Peace River this morning and tonight. 10 to 15 snow. The snow will ease off overnight, so a bit of snow coming for you in the Peace. Like I said, you would be seeing that is coming for you today. That heavier band should probably bring snow all across Mackenzie and areas north of Prince George, but some of the biggest snowfalls, enough to meet the warning criteria. There's specific things that it takes to be considered a warning, meet warning criteria, right? it can snow and doesn't necessarily mean it is a warning. So we have a special weather statement continues still on the west coast of Vancouver Island. They have wave heights could be 3 to 4 meters breaking upon approach. So you would not want to be standing during high tide. King tide's coming in actually as the full moon's coming. So we got this very high tide, and the storm is slamming in there and blasted. And what's it doing? It's making the tide even higher. So I'd be careful if you're near that ocean. You could be easily swept out to places that are rocky and craggy there by Tofino. Some of those areas you stand there, it's a violent beach sometimes. And this is one of those days you like to be standing out there and enjoying the show. Waves and pounding surf will produce higher than normal water levels along the coast, especially near high tide. Water levels could reach 50 to 60 centimeters above the normal highest tide. This may push water and debris into low-lying areas and parking lots even, especially at locations that have been prone to impact during similar events in the past. Beachgoers could be swept into the ocean near rocky outcrops. So you want to go and sit by the ocean there and check things out, leave some safe space. The rainfall warning continues there in Vancouver, and that should continue to this evening. 50 to 90 millimeters coming there. Vigorous Pacific Frontal system will move across BC today. 50 to 90 millimeters. Here's our big story. This is the biggest story. That's what today's show is all about. Today's show is about this right here. Between now and Thursday night, so they've changed it. It's set to Friday. So between now and Thursday night, Paulson Summit, 30 to, and they've upped it, 30 to 50 centimeters. Oh, big time snow. Wow. Rapidly accumulating snow will make travel difficult. You think? Visibility may be suddenly reduced in the heavy snow. Wow. A funnel system hitting the Paulson could produce 30 to 50 centimeters of snow. Okay, over Newfoundland. We're not going to talk about Northern Quebec. No one lives there, and that's been going on forever. Newfoundland still, it's got this wind warning going on, 80-kilometer-hour winds. So that could blow your cod out of the boat there, boys. So careful there if you're in Avalon, Bonavista Peninsula Thursday from Buren and Conagar. Peninsulas as well as Burgeo and Ramia, and you're careful your shingles and your roofs there, boys, and everybody go back to careful there. So you go pretty windy. Speaking of windy, had an awesome tip from one of our viewers here following. He said this would be the case today, and I probably would have checked this anyways, but it was nice to hear someone who was on the coast give a call out some speeds, wind speeds, right? So on the morning of the 12th and 13th of November, it brought very strong winds and rains. This vigorous frontal system, vigorous. There's that word again. I used the word vigorous the other day, and that just shows you that I'm really good at this vigorous stuff. So wind gusts, Discovery Island 110. We got hurricane force winds were hitting up there. Herbert Island 107. So we got a number of places that reported over 100. Then a bunch in the 90s, like Saturn Island, Grief Point blew so fast the winds there that it blew the Grief away, and all that was left was no grief. Tofino Airport, Port Atkinson, as I suggested, some of those winds that could be hitting into Vancouver. I doubt that it would. I may use the wrong word yesterday. I said cancel flights, but no. Sometimes winds like this could postpone temporarily if you have shifting winds a lot and not getting a good headwind for an aircraft to take off into, right? You don't want to have crosswinds, and sometimes you don't have stable winds for a while, so they sit there and wait. So that's kind of more what I meant when I said could affect air travel at times of some of those heavier winds. Not cancellations. That was completely the wrong word. I'm a complete idiot for having to say that. Why would I do that? Where is my head? Okay, Egg Island hit 93. Okay, so then had some rainfall. Tassie hit 137 millimeters of rain. So that was pretty extreme. Pretty heavy rain. So the rest of these totals aren't too bad. Comox seeing up to 77 mils. And speaking of all that rain, we got some new report here from the people that talk about high streams and stuff like that. BC River Forecast Center. Their ongoing weather systems are impacting the coastal British Columbia. Next round of rainfall is forecast on Tuesday, continues into Wednesday. Heavy rains includes West Vancouver Island, Howe Sound, Metro Vancouver. Rivers will expect to rise Tuesday and into Wednesday. Current hydrologic models indicating potential for stream flow reaching 2 to 5 year return periods in the areas where the heaviest rainfall is going on, minor flooding and bullshit like that. They're saying this morning frontal systems crossing the province, bringing extreme ridgetop winds and mountain snow. Post-frontal flurries are expected on Thursday, so maybe some of these places, it's surprisingly, it was a little bit sunny here this morning in Wells. I expected to see, just because Wells, even if I don't expect to see the snow story coming here, it comes here anyways. That's what it does here. Weak trough is moving through on Friday. Again, next storm is arriving Friday night, so next storm is on tap already. Day one, let's have a look for Wednesday here in the BC coast. Extreme precipitation possible, and extreme south winds are expected as frontal system moves on shore in the morning here. It's doing that right now. Frontal system will bring strong southeast and ridgetop winds to the BC interior today. Heavy precipitation expected by Kootenay boundary. Yukon could see isolated minor flurries. There's our cold front moving in there today. BC, the air mass becomes more unstable behind the cold and trowel, causing heavier precipitation in localized areas. Ridgetop winds will weaken behind the cold front and the trowel. And the BC interior behind the frontal system, strong ridgetop winds will veer to the south and southwest. Snow continues, but less amounts are expected behind the frontal system. The heaviest precipitation still in the Kootenay boundary region. Light snow in the Yukon today. Okay, for a buddy who was asking about how to find temperatures at elevation, things like that. So here we go. We'll give you an example here. If you download Windy, it's a free app, and you can pay for the premium like I do, but you probably don't need the premium. You just click down here, and that's like I'm on temperature right now. Click down here in altitude, and sort of surface level up to 1,500 meters, 1 degree. So we'll go up to 2,000 meters. Finally, we're hitting it. So, it's not, it'd be nice if there was 15, 16, 1700, 1,800 meters, whatever. But this is a very useful tool, nonetheless, that Windy has for you, that you can use to see temperatures. And, if we go up to how far? We go up to the thermosphere, minus 54 up by the thermosphere, and it'll be a little colder when you start coming down from there. That's what happens when you go up in the atmosphere. It goes like so. Warm at the surface, colder, and then warmer, and then get to the thermosphere, and then it starts getting hot. We start getting a hot band over top of the planet. So here we are on satellite this morning. Some solid winds going on up there. The low is not 979. That'd be probably stronger still right now than I maybe expected, if that's actually still, that's proper central low pressure. Then we got through the southern part of BC into Alberta. That's heavy deck of cloud producing some precip. We got precip going up on the Peace right now. Most likely, we got backside of the low with some stronger winds down here. But as you can see by the widening of these isobars, actually the winds are fairly calm right now in comparison to what this could be when it starts to slam into, say, Oregon and Portland and places like that today. And I did that thing again where I record for 5-10 minutes and then don't realize my face is on here. And it's like, part of me is trying to do this quick so I can get things out there and get the information out there. And then part of me is like, if the more I do it quick, the more I waste time. So snowfall in the Peace today will start to intensify more and more. We got kind of a mix of rain and snow going on right now. There is precip falling in the southern interior. I saw on radar right now. So our central low pressure still kind of hanging around 985. So starting to weaken as it comes ashore. And it's having a hard time getting into those mountains, crossing up over. Nonetheless, it's throwing that snowfall in tonight into Fort St. John, pretty heavy. Fort Nelson, expect to see some of that there. And low will be sitting now on the coast as you come into Thursday morning. And so our front has passed. Our cold front's out here somewhere now, but you got the post-frontal showers still continuing, post-frontal flurries. And then you got this long band from Fort McMurray on up to Fort St. John, Fort Nelson, which will be in time for Thursday morning. You see some snowfall will have landed there, most likely somewhere through that the north area. This band will pass through, maybe high level. We'll see some of that eventually. So Thursday, things have calmed down a little bit here in BC, but still the flurries linger, and then maybe at those higher elevations down there in the Paulson and Kootenay passes, you're going to see some of that 30 to 50 centimeters of snow. Absolutely ridiculous. Low is struggling to kind of get inland. So it's like formed a clipper out there, but it hasn't. It is dragging its way behind. So it's kind of an interesting looking setup. But again, it's just images that don't necessarily tell you exactly what's going on out there. And then here's our next band just being ready to get launched by this high pressure system. Watch here. So it's Friday at 0. No big deal. Some lingering flurries continuing, but things more or less starting to look nice for BC. And you can see how this high pressure here is again, we're talking about our conveyor belts, right? Where the high pressure sometimes or the low pressure together, the two of them together have made this great system for just transporting nonsense and garbage and angry weather into the province. And you can see how, there we go, on Saturday, this low is dragging this tail in behind. So the question I had the other day is, are we going to see atmospheric river? There's signs that kind of look like that. So I think this weekend we could see some pretty good precip totals. I still see in this image in the model, there's our hurricane starting to show up in the United States there by Saturday. So it'll probably be a hurricane by then, I would expect. So there is atmospheric river tail. It's not as crazy as ones I've seen, but that precipitation still looks pretty solid in BC. I'd expect this weekend to be fairly messy, especially when going to the pass. And it may be, if this does make its way into land the way it's showing, like this shows that everyone's getting some precip on Sunday morning. So that is possible. I mean, it's sort of an unusual looking setup. It's not very typical, the shape of this and the way the high is interacting with it. Not exactly typical, but I think we'll see a fair bit of moisture just getting thrust at us nonetheless, even if we don't get like a really cohesive, organized storm necessarily. And there's another one coming in after that. I think we're going to see some temperature drop by then. Maybe this one will help us, though. This will be the saving grace, this next one, because maybe this will be what keeps us from staying in those Arctic temperatures too long. Maybe this will help bring some warmth up and into the province when it's got that nice low flow. So there you go. Sometime late Thursday, you saw a nice break into the central interior there of, I don't know how long that'll last, but compared to what we could be seeing here, if some of this Arctic weather can come down, we're concerned about this Arctic outbreak here, not just for how cold it will be here in BC, but also for what this can do. You get a very warm sector, very cold sector, very wet and moist sector, and very dry and cold sector, and these kind of come together, and you're going to have those will make for explosive weather systems, right? So you look at the United States sometime next week, you can expect to see that you're going to have a hurricane probably coming at you sometime. And I'm not exactly sure the location. This shows it's coming closer to Florida, but I don't know. We're not going to guess yet on that. And, big cyclone off the BC coast. This one could be real serious. But we have this high pressure taking over, throwing this cold air down into all parts of Canada. So that's really had me concerned that we're going to see some outbreaks of Arctic cold. It'll probably be a little bit of the case. Bam, there you go, Monday. Air, there you go, Tuesday, very cold air reaching all the way down almost to Colorado, Wyoming, getting some of that, Idaho, sitting with some of that up in the mountains there, northern BC, northern Yukon, that will be very extreme cold up there. So luckily, you can see how the storm is moving in. You can see how the temperatures are interacting and mixing. You can see how the cold is being drawn in. You can see the warm. You can see how the mid-latitude cyclone works right here in doing so, and it should... You would hope, if this big storm happens, you would hope that it will, and you can see kind of there, our Arctic weather taking a bit of a beating back. Yeah, sorry for getting thrown into Facebook jail. I did mean it. These are people in Abbotsford going around starting a new Make America Great Again movement. You're in Canada, and you're saying, Make America Great Again. Like, think about that, and it's a ridiculous proposition. It's like, you want to start a new populist movement? That's fine. Just don't steal some other country's politics, okay? Don't bring American politics here. Find your own thing. Get creative. It's like, you're like, okay, we'll get creative. We'll make Canada great again. We'll call ourselves. Imagine if you had Americans going down there copying us, make Canada great again. We'll call our movement. Ridiculous. Start your own thing. Find what is Canadian. Find what is for you. Find what it represents our people. Find our story. Make our story. Create our story. Create our vision for our country. Maybe you and I won't agree on what that looks like. That's fine. But don't go stealing someone else's stupid ass vision. Okay. Find your own vision. Find what it is that makes us unique and special. Don't go stealing someone else's politics, some populism. Like get a clue of your own. Have an original idea, right? So we got a little bit of snowfall happening still. There, we're seeing it on satellite coming up into Mackenzie area. So I bet you some snowfall's falling in the Pine Pass right now, possibly a little bit in the Caribou Mountains right now, but nothing too crazy going on yet this morning. But there is some flurries out there in BC. Yeah, don't just jump on someone else's hype train, someone else's bandwagon because you don't have an original idea of your own, because you lack creativity, because you lack spirit or vision or drive for our country. How can you convince anybody that you have vision for where our country's going if you're repeating someone else's political sayings there from down the United States? So I do not regret saying what I said, but I shouldn't necessarily get myself thrown into Facebook jail. Remember the last Trump administration? Those of you, I was like every other month in Facebook jail. So I mean, I gotta make sure to keep my mouth shut. Maybe I'll use my Patreon more in the future and Facebook less or something like that. You know, it's like, but that's why I started. That's why I started this channel originally, was because I kept getting thrown in Facebook jail and I couldn't tell anybody what was up in Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers. So I said, well, I'll make a video, moderators, and we'll post it, and you can post it for me. So that's kind of how Shell got started around here, right? That's more or less the case. So hit like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, help us grow the channel here, because I need all the help I can get. Got a nice new chair today from Becky. Thanks for the chair. I always appreciate gifts. You know, here's another gift I got on here today. I'm not sure if you can see this, but someone made me a T-shirt there a while ago. Look what it says. You probably can't see it. It says Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers. On the back it says the weather guy or something like that. I don't know what it says in the back because I'm not looking at my back. I love gifts. I love that stuff. You know, I love when people send me packages and things and make me stuff. And, you know, so it's, you know, thank you for those things. Thanks, Becky, for the chair. Look at this. Whoa! Like, she really moves around. It's comfy, you know. It's a little bit smaller than my last one, but it's good. It's like, nice new chair. Okay, we'll talk to you. Well, meteorological reports tomorrow, so I might not have a forecast for you until we do the live stream at 6:30 p.m. So make sure you tune into the channel right here, 6:30 p.m. Thursday night, Pacific Standard Time, for the meteorological report. Comedy plus meteorology equals meteorology. That's Frankie McDonald and meteorologist Mark and Brandon Houck and all the people. Going to be awesome. Okay, we'll see you next time, everybody. Bye for now.